What is the crack? My name's the Rusty Bartender and welcome to the Rusty Bartender's Bar. If you're here for the first time, you're recognizing that I have a very strong Northern Irish accent. Do not be afraid to hit the subtitles button below, because I've recently found out that 20% of all my followers listen to me using the captions or subtitles. I digress. Much to the amusement of my wife. But today we're going to make my favorite cocktail ever, the Old Fashioned, and we're going to make a few different variations on them as well. So let's just get stuck into this video because it might be a long one. So before we begin the recipes, if you've clicked on this video, there's a fair chance that you already know how to make an Old Fashioned. But if you don't, basically an Old Fashioned is spirit, bitters, sugar, and water. And from that template, you can substitute any one of those and come up with a completely different Old Fashioned. It is the perfect Mr. Potato Head cocktail. For example, if you swap out a bourbon for another type of bourbon, totally different Old Fashioned. If you swap out bitters or even the sugar component, you could swap it for maple syrup, demerara sugar, granulated sugar, sugar syrup. Each of those is going to give you a completely different drink. And with that, let me know in the comments, what is your favorite Old Fashioned or go-to Old Fashioned variant? So for our first Old Fashioned today, I know all of you out there have your own favorite way of making Old Fashioned. This is my particular way of making an Old Fashioned. So I'm going to start off with 2 dashes of Angostura bitters, then 2 dashes of orange bitters. Then I'm going to use 1/4 ounce of demerara syrup and 2 ounces of your favorite bourbon. My favorite bourbon is Michter's, and I have literally just used an entire bottle of Michter's because it is my favorite. Then I'm going to add a large cube of ice. I'm just going to give this a little stir to combine. You don't want to dilute it too much. I'm just going to express a swath of orange peel over the drink. Give it a little twist, drop it in, and then I like to add just 1 maraschino cherry. And there you go, folks. This is my favorite Old Fashioned. I should have mentioned this before, but there's 2 camps of thought when it comes to sugar in an Old Fashioned. There are those who prefer granulated sugar or sugar cubes, and there are those that prefer sugar syrup. For the granulated sugar side, your drink's going to get sweeter as the drink evolves to the bottom of the glass because the granulated sugar doesn't always dissolve properly in the drink. And for the sugar syrup side, the drink is just a more consistent drink the whole way through. Which side of the fence do I sit on? Both of them. Depends on what mood I'm in the drink. But here we go, folks. Rusty's Old Fashioned. Cheers. The next Old Fashioned is called the Don Lockwood Old Fashioned. And this recipe comes from Abraham Dawkins of the Dutch Kills Bar from America. For this one, we're going to start off with 1 dash of Angostura bitters, and then we're going to go 2 dashes of a chocolate bitters. I'm using Steve the Bartender's new chocolate bitters, available on his store. We're then going to use 10 ml of a good maple syrup. This Old Fashioned uses a mix of whiskies. We're going to go 1 full ounce of an Islay whiskey, such as Lafroig, and then 30 ml of a bourbon. And again, add a large rock of ice and give this a little stir. You're just wanting to chill this, not dilute it too much. And this one, just express a little bit of orange on top. Give it a little twist, drop it in. There you go, folks, the Don Lockwood. Cheers. For the next Old Fashioned, we're going to do a peanut butter Old Fashioned. I've actually seen quite a lot of recipes online for these. A lot of them seem to use like a full ounce or 2 ounces of a peanut butter whiskey. Peanut butter whiskeys such as like Screwball, or in Australia we have Sheepdog peanut butter whiskey. They are very, very sweet already. So in my version of this, I'm gonna do a bit of a split base. We're using a little bit of the peanut butter whiskey and that should be enough. And because the peanut butter whiskey has a lot of sugar content in it already, we don't need to add extra sugar into this. So we're gonna start off with 2 dashes of chocolate bitters. Again, I'm using Steve the Bartender's new chocolate bitters. We're gonna do a 1/4 ounce of our peanut butter whiskey. And then 1 3/4 ounces of a bourbon. Add a large rock of ice. And we're just gonna give this a little stir, which I spilled everywhere there. If it was garnishing for this one, I would actually put a little Reese's cup, would be nice on here, because it's a little sweet treat, this Old Fashioned. But here you go, folks, the peanut butter Old Fashioned. Does exactly what it says on the tin. Even with that just 1/4 ounce of peanut butter whiskey, the peanut butter comes through very strong. Good though. This Old Fashioned we're gonna call the Orange Old Fashioned. I've seen quite a few recipes online for this one. And none of them actually have a specific name. So we're starting off with 3 dashes of Angostura. And our sugar in this drink is actually going to be the sugar from the Grand Marnier. So 1/2 ounce of Grand Marnier. And 1.5 ounces of our bourbon. And I think you know the drill by now. Garnish for this, we're just going to express some orange oils over the top. Don't know what I was trying to say there. I'm only 4 Old Fashions in, surely I couldn't be slurring my words already. And maraschino cherry on top as well. And there you go, folks. The Orange Old Fashioned. That one is quite delightful, bit different, nice though. Okay, this next Old Fashioned is called a New Fashioned. For this one, we're gonna make this in a mixing glass. And to that, we're going to add 1 slice of orange and 1 lemon peel. Then a lovely maraschino cherry. And the sugar component in the drink, well, there's sugar in the maraschino cherry, but the sugar element is 1/2 ounce of Saint Germain elderflower liqueur. Then 1.5 ounces of bourbon. And we're just going to give this a little muddle just to combine all the flavors. Add ice to your mixing glass. I'm going to give this a quick stir for about 10 or 12 seconds. Like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Then we're just going to strain this over 1 large rock of ice. Garnish for this is a slice of orange. There you go, folks. The New Fashioned. That is something a little bit different. A little bit more sweeter than I'm used to for an Old Fashioned, but the little bit of elderflower makes this very nice indeed. New Fashioned. Okay, the next Old Fashioned we're making is Dale de Graaf's Old Fashioned. And before I start making this recipe, His recipe actually calls for Bordeaux cherries. I don't have any Bordeaux cherries. I've only got the Luxardo cherries, and I know they're a different flavor. So if you're going to stick to the original recipe, you'll need Bordeaux cherries. Now, Bordeaux cherries, I think, are a little bit tartar and not as sweet as Luxardo cherries. I'm not 100% sure on that. You can let me know in the comments, but that's what we're using. So to your old fashioned glass, we're gonna add 2 cubes of sugar. We're then gonna add 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. And then you're gonna add 2 of your cherries. And 1/2 orange wheel. Give this a good muddle. And when you're done, it's gonna look like this murky brown paste, which actually smells amazing. And at this stage, you're just gonna add a little splash of soda. Give it a little stir, just to make sure the sugar dissolves. At this stage, it says to remove the orange rind. And then add 2 ounces of bourbon. We're gonna add 1 large rock of ice and then give this a little stir to combine. This is then garnished with a orange slice. There you go, folks, Dale de Graaf's Old Fashioned. I'll tell you what, it's a lot darker than the other ones, but let's give it a little taste. That's a bit different. Get a little bit of tartness from the fresh citrus from the orange, the cherries coming through. This is a tasty one, folks. Give this one a try. Dale de Graaf's. Okay, no Old Fashioned list could be complete without mentioning the Wisconsin Old Fashioned. So we're gonna start off with a rocks glass. We're gonna add 2 slices of orange. Then gonna add 2 cherries, or brandy soaked cherries, as a lot of recipes call for. 1 sugar cube and 3 dashes of our Angostura bitters. Give this a little muddle. And at this stage, it's very similar to Dale de Graaf's Old Fashioned we just made, except the Wisconsin Old Fashioned uses brandy instead of bourbon. So 2 ounces of brandy. Add a large rock of ice and give it a stir. Now, I've seen recipes online for a Wisconsin Old Fashioned that say to add a little bit of 7-Up at the end of it. Is that a thing? I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep it the way it is at the minute, but let me know in the comments. Is adding 7-Up to an Old Fashioned a thing? And we'll add just a fresh slice of orange as a garnish for this one. And there you go, folks. The Wisconsin Old Fashioned. Bottoms up. Oh yeah. Could get into a brandy Old Fashioned. That's great. Give it a one a go. Give this one a go. Our next Old Fashioned comes from a bartender called Phil Ward, who used to work at Death & Co. and the Pegu Club, and this is the Ohaka Old Fashioned. As you can tell by the name, it's Mexican inspired. You're going to need rocks glass, or Old Fashioned glass, whatever you'd like to call it, a orange zest coin. I'm gonna put that in the bottom of the glass. Then gonna add a teaspoon of agave syrup, 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. We're gonna give that a quick muddle. Then 2 ounces of a good Reposado tequila. And then a 1/2 ounce of a mezcal. And this is gonna give it a kind of smoky earthy kind of vibe to this. Add a large rock of ice and then give it a quick stir. And you meant to grab another little orange coin and then give it a flame over the top of it. But I don't have any lighters with me, so I can't flame me zest on this one. So you're just gonna have to pretend there's a lighter here and a big flame. And God, I think the alcohol is starting to kick in. There you go, folks, the Ohaka Old Fashioned. And that is something a little different. Delicious. A little bit of smoky and spiciness that comes from that mezcal. That's delicious. Give this one a go if you're wanting something different for your old fashioned sometime. Okay, our next old fashioned is called the French Old Fashioned. And in this old fashioned, green chartreuse is going to be our sugar element. So the recipe calls for an orange zest coin. Place this at the bottom of your glass. We're then going to add 2 dashes of Dale de Graaf's pimento bitters and 2 dashes of orange bitters. To this, we're going to add 1/4 ounce of green chartreuse. And we're just going to give this a little muddle. We're then going to add 2 ounces of a rye whiskey. We're going to use Sazerac. You know the drill, add a large rock of ice, give it a stir. Garnish for this is a orange zest coin. Just zest that over the top and place on top. There you go, folks, the French Old Fashioned. Give it a little sip. Tasty, very tasty. A little bit of green chartreuse makes all the difference there. Get a little hint of the aniseed, but it's playing really well with the rye. Gives it a little bit of extra spice on the back end. Give it a try, folks. The French Old Fashioned. This next old fashioned is called the Claremont Old Fashioned. It comes from Dale de Graaf's Craft of the Cocktail book. To make this, we're gonna make it straight into a rocks glass. 3 dashes of Angostura, 1 orange slice, 1 cherry, 3/4 ounce of dry curacao, a small splash of soda water. Give everything a muddle. Recipe says to remove the orange peel. We're gonna add 1.5 ounces of bourbon to this. And this one calls for a couple of ice cubes. Give this a quick stir. And this one is garnished with an orange slice. And this is the Claremont Old Fashioned. Very nice indeed. Very tasty. But on to the next one. Hey, this next old fashioned goes against everything I've ever been taught about old fashions and is going to be made in a cocktail shaker. This is called the Ginger and Orange Holiday Old Fashioned and comes from Dale de Graaf's book again. So into our cocktail shaker, add 2 orange zest coins, 1/4 ounce of ginger syrup, and 2 dashes of pimento bitters. Give this a good muddle. We're then going to go 2.5 ounces of our bourbon, So let's say 1.5. And then 1 bar spoon of orange marmalade. Have we seen that? Add ice to your shaker. Shake for about 10 to 12 seconds. Let's go. And for this one, we're just gonna strain this over some regular sized ice. And this one again is garnished with a orange coin. So zest it over the top. And there you go, folks. This is the ginger and orange holiday old fashioned. Let's see what's going on. I mean, yeah, it has the old fashioned vibes. Is it an old fashioned though? Shaken? Let me know in the comments. Okay, our next old fashioned is the Pisco Old Fashioned. So to our rocks glass, we're gonna add a orange zest coin, 1 dash of Angostura bitters, a bar spoon of ginger liqueur, 1/2 ounce of demerara syrup. Give this a little muddle. 2 ounces of our Pisco. And the recipe calls for a splash of anchovies. So splash. Guess that's a splash. Add a couple of big rocks to your glass. Give this a little stir to combine. Just a little orange slice for garnish on this one. And there we go, folks. This is the Pisco Old Fashioned. That is a flavor bomb. Got so much going on. That's delicious. Give that one a try, folks. Pisco Old Fashioned. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments if you want 12 more old fashioned recipes. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.